what challenges and opportunities come with scaling back production after such a high output era that Marvel had? So them kind of scaling back to focus on like quality over quantity, like what do you think some challenges and opportunities?
I think like the one that I said prior is just I'm concerned that they're gonna focus on the wrong things and kind of revert back to what was working before this current kind of, I guess, technically disaster of a phase.
Yeah, well, once you start adding a lot more characters, sort of trying to go back to basics, trying to go back to how it was like in those first 5 years with like Iron Man and Captain America, Thor, like the big like heavy hitter characters, the ones that are gonna sell, they're gonna bring people to the theaters.
I fear they might just end up telling the same stories over and over again. There's just so many stories you could tell. Like I do think one of the good recasting things that they're potentially doing is the T'Challa. Like I've been asking for that since before Wakanda Forever. Yeah, and because I think the character is too big to just move on from. As great as Chadwick was for that character, hot take, I guess, but I think the character's bigger. Like I think there's more to the character to be explored, and the fact that we just like we're like, well, we can't recast him is just kind of like simplistic thinking. Like I think even Chadwick would be like, no, let the character live on. Like keep telling this dude's stories, because like there's so many good Black Panther stories.
Especially because like the character existed before Chadwick was even born. Like, yeah, I love Chadwick, but yeah, I definitely want to see more Black Panther stories eventually. I don't want to never get to see T'Challa again because Chadwick, you know, unfortunately passed away.
There's tons of stories with him and Shuri, where Shuri kind of takes over the head mantle of like Wakanda, and he's kind of like this outsider Panther, like liaison type deal. Then there's a lot of really interesting dynamics there between the two of them, and how the different ways that they ruled and what their responsibility is to the nation at that time. But that's like one of my favorite Black Panther comics, and I think it really addresses those kind of stories really well, and that's where I was hoping they were going to go with it. And then when they didn't recast Black Panther, like, oh, we'll never get something like that.
You think that they can incorporate that kind of story now?
Yeah, it depends. It depends on how they merge the worlds in Secret Wars, which is what they're kind of implying they'll do.
Yeah.
Which I do kind of hope they'll do.
It's only gonna mesh like the different multiverses.
Yeah, but there's also a way that I fear they'll do. If it's done right, and there's enough like context to why the worlds kind of mesh together, and they'd have to give a really good like explanation as to why everyone remembers the actions of the past, but why everyone else doesn't. Because I do want the world to not know that there's been a collide.
So like a hard reset.
That's what I would want, because I want the history of mutants to be in the world before we get the mutants, like before we get X-Men.